Welcome to SB067D Principles of Management 1. Today we're going to be looking at the nature of management unit 1. We'll focus our discussion on the meaning of management session 1. My name is Felicia Frida Aiden Alcott, and I'll be taking you through Principles of Management 1. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain the term management. You should also be able to highlight the importance of management. So let's zoom into our discussion for today, management. There is a need for management because it's something which is very essential to our everyday lives. You need to manage yourself. We need to manage the business, we need to manage the society, the environment, and management is very key. Management has been with us since 3,000 years before the birth of Christ and is still with us till today. And you realize that even though the environment conditions were relatively stable around that time, now it's no longer the case and things keep changing and makes it a bit hard to even manage the situations. However, we're saying that successful businesses and organizations just don't happen. They are managed to be what they are. So if you're a very brilliant student or a very well performing student, is not just doesn't just happen. They manage a lot of things. So they manage the time they learn, even the books, the resources and things they get and all those things. So management is very key everywhere you find yourself. And the beauty about management is that management, it goes into every organization. Management is key in every type of organization, whether you're in the business sector, whether you're in the formal sector, informal sector, whether you're into mining, whether you're into trading, everything you are doing, every type of organization, management is very key in there. And at the various levels of management, whether it's at the top level, whether it's at the middle level, or whether you're even a foreman, a supervisor, management is very key. And as well as the various functions of management as well. So we'll be delving in and we'll be understanding some of these concepts as we're going in. So let's start by defining management. What then is management? Now, management has been defined by a lot of people from way back in time, and David Fleet and Tim Peterson, like in 1994, they described it as a set of activities that are directed at efficient and effective utilization of resources in pursuit of one's goal. And in management, you're going to be seeing a lot of this term, efficient and effective. What is effective? Effective is about you being able to meet your target. So you set to yourself to get an A in this program or in this course or in this model. At the end of the semester, when your result comes and you get an A, then that means you've been effective. You've been able to achieve your target. Efficiency is looking at your input as compared to your output. So maybe within a semester, if you're able to really manage your time, manage your learning and everything, you realize that you'll be able to make most of the time you have at your disposal to learn and make that A. And that is what we're looking out for when we're looking at efficiency. So, and Peter Drucker, who is also very key in management, in 1992 also came up with a definition of management and said that it was a multi-purpose organ that manages a business, manages managers, and manages workers and work. So for him, Like I was saying in the introduction, the management is very key, and no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you're working, management is very key. And Peter Drucker was highlighting that it's not just about managing a business, we also manage what? Managers. The people themselves who are managing the business, we also manage them, and we also have to manage our workers, and most importantly, the work itself. And Harry Fayo, who is also very one of the key people who started the definition of management in 1954, he came up with a definition that for us to be able to manage, we need to first and foremost be able to forecast, look into the future and say, this is potentially what you're going to face, this is potentially what you're going to be working with, and these are the things we need to what? Put things in place for it. So we need to forecast, and once you're done forecasting, you need to be able to what? Plan. You need to be able to what? Organize. You need to be able to command, coordinate, and control to be able to what? Get that desired result. And today we've fine-tuned this because these functions of management, some of them have been reclassified and regrouped. And so today you can simply define management as the process of what? Planning, organizing, leading, and then controlling. When you are planning, you're obviously going to forecast and plan as well. When you are organizing, you're going to look at everything that you need to put in place to be able to what? Achieve those goals, whether it is the work roles, whether it's the responsibilities, whether it's the people, the structures, the systems, everything goes into what? Organizing. Then we need to be able to lead. We need to be able to influence people to achieve that result. And so the commanding and coordinating has now been merged under the leadership function. So when we come into this and this, we're then looking at leadership now, and then we're obviously going to have to do control. Control is making sure that what we set out to do, we are able to what? Achieve it. If there's deviation, let's correct it. If we went beyond it, positive or negative, we need to be able to what? Find solutions to it. So this is about management, and I hope you can apply these to where you find yourself as well. So there are some key features or characteristics of management. One key feature is that when it comes to management, we're looking at objectives which has to be achieved with what? Minimum resources. In economics, we always told that what? Resources are what? Scarce. Yes, and so there's a need for us to be able to what? Manage these scarce resources for us to be able to what? Meet our organization's goal. When we go into management, there's always a hierarchy of authority. If you have a problem with a program, let's say with the course you're doing, like with principles of management, you can't just get up and then go to the VC or just go to your provost from your college about it. No, there's a hierarchy of authority. There are people that report to what? You need to follow that chain to be able to get it addressed. So you realize that you'd have to obviously go to your center head, who is also under someone. He would also go and tell the one he's above. He would also go up, go up, go up. That's how it actually works in organizations. There is a hierarchy of authority. People report to someone. There's someone who is higher than someone overseeing the other to ensure that the work is done properly. And you need to be able to respect these authority as well. There's also a continuous activity. So from planning to organizing to leading to controlling. It's not like they are disconnected. No, these activities are all interrelated, and so they flow in or they gel in together to get the work done. So it's a continuous activity. Another thing too is that it is related to what human effort. That is a reality. People would have to be engaged in the management function, and so people matters in there, and it's a group activity because one person can't do all the activities in there. And that is why Peter Drucker was making the mention that we need to be able to what manage even the workers in there as well, because the workers be working together not as individuals, sometimes as teams, and sometimes even as a whole. We need to be able to work with them. And it's a rational process. It's not something which has to be subjective. There should be that amount of rationality in there. And management obviously is universal. Wherever you find yourself in the world, whether you're in US, you're in Ghana, you're in China, management is still management. Managers still do what managers do, no matter where they find themselves. So it's a universal process as well. And we're saying that it's also an economic resource, a factor of production, which we also need to be to look out for. Management is an art as well as a science. It's an art because at the end of the day, these abilities, these skills we use, we need to be able to apply them to get the work done. And so the art of leadership, the art of managing and all those things, they are very key in them. Management is also a science because there are principles that guide it. We just don't get up and do anything. If you get up and just do the thing as you want, that will not be rationality in there. And so management is not just an art or a science, it is both an art and then a science. Management obviously is a social process which deals with people. It deals with working with people, handling people, getting people to do the right thing. And most importantly, it is a profession. And so we have people who are managers, project managers, functional managers, head managers, and all those things. So management is also a function. You can finish school and then become a manager, which becomes your profession as well. So these are some key characteristics or features of management, and we need to take note of these as well. Now, why is management important? What's the importance of management? First and foremost, management is important because, like I made mention earlier, resources are scarce from our economics background, and so there's a need for us to be able to optimal use or optimalize the use of the resources we have at our disposal. That means we need to make most of it. That's where efficiency comes in as well. And then we're saying that maximum production at the minimum cost. I can keep mentioning, you can't do management without looking out for what? Efficiency. So there's a need for us to look at efficiency. Okay, so I'm trying to write this properly. Bear with me. So there's a need for us to look out for efficiency, which is looking out for our input as compared to our output. So maximum production at the minimum cost. There's also the need for us to accomplish the group goals. The group goals as in the business goal is a group goal for the whole company. The team's goal, because for us to be able to do it, we may have to group ourselves into teams to get that work done, and we need to be able to look at all those ones. There's the effective running of the business. The business has to achieve its target, and we need to manage these as well, and management is very critical in there. If you don't have good management there, you will not be able to achieve any of the business goals. There's a generation of what employment opportunities. So like we said, management is a profession. Professionals will need what employment to be able to what be able to sustain themselves and then improve their livelihoods and improve the communities in which they also work. There's also the need for a sound organizational structure, and management is very key, because in our management functions, you realize that we're looking at organizing, where we're going to look at the organizational structure, the systems and procedures. And so it is very key for us to do management or look at management or even practice management wherever we find ourselves. And it's beneficial to not just the business but also to the society. Management is very key to not just the business but also to the society. And from the start, I've been talking about the importance of that as well. And it's also good when it comes to the development of the nation. At the end of the day, I told you from the start that it's not only about managing businesses. Even you as an individual, you need to be able to apply management to your life. In our government societies, or in the societies we find ourselves, in our communities, in the nation as a whole, management is key. And that is why we elect our parliamentarians, we elect the president and all those structures and systems in the country to be able to run the country successfully. And so management is very key in there. In economic planning, management is also very, very key in there. You can imagine what will happen if the economy of Ghana is not being managed properly. A lot of stress, a lot of pressures will come to not just those who are in that management position, but even those of us on the ground. So when it comes to economic planning, management is also very key. And this is not only government, in our businesses as well, we need to look out for this as well. And then increased competition. The beauty about business is once you start, someone else is going to come in, and you may not even be the first person doing that thing. People were already doing before you also entered the market. And so competition is something that is going to come up. People are going to compete with you, whether you like it or not. And so you need to position yourself properly. And for you to be able to deal with this, you need to have good management structures and systems and procedures, and be able to apply your management very, very prudently or very right, to be able to combat competition or go ahead of competition. And so it's very important. The study of management is very, very key and very important to everybody, everywhere they find themselves, at any level, at any function they find themselves. Management is very, very key. So in this session 1, unit 1, we've looked at management, where we looked at some definitions of management from Henry Fayol to Peter Drucker, and then we looked at the contemporary definition of management, which is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and then controlling to meet your business goals or targets in the most efficient and effective way. We've also looked at why management is important, as well as the characteristics of management. See you in the second session. Thank you.